In this video, you'll be given a walkthrough of Dokugami's assisted authoring feature. Assisted authoring uses our Word add-in, Dokugami for Word, to help business users quickly and efficiently author documents. Before we get started, keep in mind that everything on Dokugami works based off of a doc set, which is a collection of 6 or more documents that all share the same purpose. Be sure to create a doc set before using assisted authoring, or alternatively, you can also explore this feature using one of our sample doc sets, which we'll be using in this video. First, navigate to app.dokugami.com. From the homepage, you can find assisted authoring by clicking on the Author a New Document tile. From here, you'll name your assisted authoring project, select a doc set, and click Next. It's important to mention here that to use assisted authoring, you'll need to work with a docx file. This means that you'll need to ensure that your doc set contains at least one docx file in order to be valid. You'll now be taken to choose a starter doc. A starter doc is the document that you'll author from in Word. As you decide on a starter doc, you'll see a preview of the document to your right. Once you've made a selection, wrap up this phase by clicking Download. Now you'll see that the starter doc has been downloaded and we're ready to author the document with the Word add-in. If you don't already have the add-in installed, this screen has a link to Microsoft's AppSource where you can install Dokugami for Word. Next, I'm going to open up my starter doc. Here's my starter doc in Word with the assisted authoring add-in open. Along the top of the add-in, you've got 4 sections: clauses, fields, a clause library, and navigation. We'll start by covering what you can do with clauses. The Clauses tab contains suggested actions, which are recommended based upon all of the other documents in the doc set. These clause suggestion cardlets are ordered based on their location in the document and can be filtered by their corresponding action. Now, let's take a closer look at clause suggestions, starting with inserts. Insert clause suggestions contain text that is not currently in the document but that is suggested to be inserted. When you click on an insert cardlet, the space in the document where the insert will be placed will be highlighted. You can also view clause variants, expand the clause cardlet, or you can decide to hide it. If you choose to hide a clause suggestion, it will be dropped down into a Hidden Clauses panel, down at the bottom of the add-in. It's important to note that if you hide a clause suggestion, it will also be hidden for any future starter docs used from the doc set. If you decide you want to unhide it later, simply click Unhide and it will be brought back up to its spot in the list. Actioning on clause suggestions is of course completely optional, and you can view the reason that the clause was suggested in order to help make a decision there. So let's insert this one. And there it is in the document. Next, let's look at removes. Like with inserts, clicking on a removal suggestion will navigate you to the relevant spot in the document. This time, the text you see in the cardlet is the text in the document that is being suggested to be removed. And as with inserts, a reason for removal is shown here. So we click Remove, and now it will be cut from the document. Last, we have replaces. As the name implies, these are parts of the starter document where it's being suggested that we replace the current clause with a clause found in another document in the doc set. That wraps up clause suggestions. Next, we'll take a quick look at fields. Fields are pulled out of the starter doc automatically and enable a user to quickly edit them without needing to scroll through the document. So in my example here with leases, this makes it super quick to update my lease. Finally, let's take a look at the clause library. The clause library is a lightweight and easy-to-use tool that allows you to build a curated collection of clauses that you use when authoring your documents. With the clause library, you can highlight any text in the starter document, click Add to Library, give it a name, and then save it. Since a clause library is tied to the doc set of the starter doc, this means that you can access your clause library when authoring with different starter docs in the doc set. And further, since the clause library is not user-specific, building the clause library can be a collaborative effort you make with your team. So this library item here is now available to be inserted wherever I place my caret in the document. I can also choose to add variants of a clause library item to keep things super organized, And of course, I can remove a clause library item if it's no longer wanted. So now, for any starter doc chosen from the doc set, this clause will always be available for use. And as added context, whenever I click on a clause library item, I'm also able to see which document the clause originally came from. With that, we've now covered everything you need to know to use assisted authoring and accelerate the way you author your business documents.